จับได้กี่ดอกก็ยิงได้นั่นแหละแต่
ไม่คอร์สโบ
นี่ยิงแบบอะไรยิงแบบยิงรัวจีนคิดมาตั้งแต่สมัยดึกดำบรรพ์แล้วใช่ไหมก่อนยุคสามก๊กอีกโรมันก็มีใช้แล้วคอร์สโบแบบอัตโนมัติ
มันดีปะหรือว่าไม่ดี
ก็ดีก็คือไม่ต้องรีโหลดเองแต่ข้อเสียคือมันน่าจะเบากว่าแบบที่เหนียวนานๆเพราะว่ามันต้องยิงเร็วๆจีนก็มีนะดังอะไรนะชูโนคุอะไรไม่รู้อ่านว่าอะไรชูโนคุนะ
จูกัดเหรียญธนูชนโนคุ
แต่ตอนแรกผมคิดว่านะพวกคอสโบเป็นพวกหางแถวเนี่ยเหมือนเอาชาวบ้านมาใครก็ได้มายิงจริงๆแล้วพวกอีลิทมันค่าจ้างแพงเหมือนบนธนูเลยนะพวกนี้มันมีข้อดีก็คือมันอะไรนะมันจัดเต็มเลยท่านพวกอาวุธพวกของป้องกันพวกโล่อะไร
พวกทหารรับจ้าง
ทหารรับจ้างพวกหน้าไม้คอสโบพวกนี้ค่าจ้างแพงเหมือนพวกเก่งๆก็เก่งกันนะไม่เรียกว่าเก่งหรอกหมายถึงว่าของมันดีนั่นแหละมีโล่มีอะไรมาตั้งฐานยิงกันตรงนั้นเลยแม้แต่ทหารมาก็ชาร์จยากตะวินก็ชาร์จยากพวกหน้าไม้แบบโผล่
ยิงเพราะมันยิงง่ายมั้ย
ยิงง่าย
ทหารมาช้าก็โดนยิง
ใช่พวกทีมที่แพงๆมันจะยิงเป็นวอลเล่สลับกันยิงไม่ต้องรอรีโหลดยิงทั้งแถวมันก็เข้ามายากทหารรับจ้างเป็นอะไรที่แบบอะไรเสื่อมเกียรติไร้สาระอะไรอย่างนี้ไม่ดีอะไรความสำหรับพอดีทั้งที่สมัยก่อนเรื่องธรรมชาติเหมือนเป็นอาชีพหนึ่งธรรมดาแต่สมัยนี้บอกเป็นทหารรับจ้างแล้วคนก็เบื่อหน้าหนีแม้แต่ส่วนที่เจนีวายังไม่อะไรนะยังไม่ครอบคลุมเลยโดนเป็นทหารรับจ้างโดนจับไปเขาจะทำอะไรกับเราก็ได้ไม่ผิดกฎส่วนที่สัญญาเจนีวา
คนไม่ได้ขึ้นตรงกับประเทศไหน
ใช่เห็นไหมยุคใหม่มันมองไม่เหมือนกันขณะที่
อะไรนะในอาม่า2มันชื่ออะไรนะ PMC ใช่ไหม
อันนี้ก็ไม่จัดเป็นอาหารรับจ้างนะพวกใครอยู่ในรีคอนแทคก็ถามลุงโล่ดูลุงโล่ว่าไงหรือว่ามันกับไอ้นี่ตนไม่สนใจอะไรแล้วนะ
เท่นะ PMC
โชว์เราซะละผมหาตัวละครมากเลยไปรูตรงนั้น
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
สไปโนโซดอนเอากีก้าเลย
เจอคิงเลลิก
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. I thought as much. Listen, I could you bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shine thanks.
เล่นปุ๊บด้วยแหละเวลาแย่งกันตอบตอบคนตีนเลยนะหันไม่ชินทั้งเมืองเลยแต่ว่าเป่ายิงฉุบเหมือนกันให้คนตีนกัน
รูปอะไรเลยพี่รูปเหมยโคตรเสื่อม
โอ้ยยิ่งนึกถึงหาเยอะเลยนี่ตอบอะไรนะคนนึงบอกให้ช่วยมันคนนึงบอกให้อะไรคือป้นมันคนนึงบอกให้ปล่อยมันไปคนนึงบอกให้ช่วยมันไว้อะไรโคตรอาเลยตอบคนตีนกันเลยไม่จำเป็นพวกนี้เก่งมันไว้เวอร์เป็นปีส่วนใหญ่
Hatch is blocked. I need to find another way.
เสียงใครหลุดออกมาแม่งเสียงโคตรเกรียนเลยโอ้เสื่อมเก่าแล้วนี่คุยกับใครนะครับสายบาเรียสเลเยอร์ฮอตเลเยอร์เริ่มเล่นใหม่ใช่ไหม
ใช่
เนี่ยผมรอพี่ต้นพี่
ศึกษาไว้ก่อน
อีเมลเตรียมแต่ก่อน
Do you know Losa? She's a really good singer. I'm better though. Listen. La 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 la
เสียง
there.
คุ้นๆเสียงเหมือนเทนเซอร์ คนภาคเทนเซอร์ภาค
I did.
อ้าว
Ah, there you are.
จริง
Husband.
นะท่านคุ้นมากเลย
Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not at all brat-like babes that I am by no account this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical.
One of us will get our own. They're picking us off one by one. We just skipped to the part where I reassure you and you shut up.
คุณโลคงไม่เบื่อไว้นี่
นี่ก่อนที่ผมจะมาเล่นกับท่านผมเล่นตั้งนานแล้วเดี๋ยวพี่
What are you trying to hear anyway?
How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be confused with anyone else. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we?
เช็คไม่ได้ไม่มีข้อมูลที่มันจะต้องมีสอง
It was one of them. I know it.
You presume right. Nope, trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better.
One of us will get our own.
Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over her.
Good luck, Chief.
What's your job? You look like a magic maker. Like me, but maybe not so strong.
My mum is afraid of lizards. I'm not.
อะไรนะ
อะไรนะ
ท่าน
Wow.
ว่าอะไรนะ
You're a
เล่น
dragon.
ป้ายเดี๋ยวพรุ่งนี้
You look like a dragon.
เตรียมสร้างตัวละครใหม่ หรือว่ามันจอยกันไปอะไรจอยอินโปรเกสได้หรือเปล่า
จอยโปรเกสได้
เฮ้ยเล่นใหม่กับผมเถอะผมอยากเริ่มด้วย
Visitor gets here. I'll head right over the side of this ship with
ตัวนี้ก็นะแม็กซิมัมคาร์เนตเลยแล้วกัน
How dare you classify this?
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body. He reaches out,
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Oh, please. I have no interest in that. Your books are too full of it already. No, I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind? Of course you don't have any useful information. Why did I expect anything else?
ชิบหายผมเลือกเป็นอะไรนะนักปราชญ์ทำไมแม่งคำตอบแต่ละอันนี่เหมือนคนไม่รู้เรื่องเลยนะ
อะไรเฮ้ยอินเท่าไหร่อะ
อินไม่น่าจะมีมันไม่มีค่าอินมันเป็น
เห็นภาคนี้มันใช้ระบบแท็กอะไรสักอย่าง
ใช่ใช้โรถแท็กไงผมก็เลือกแท็กเป็นคนฉลาดเลยแต่ไม่คำตอบแต่ละอย่างนี่เงาไว้นั้นเลยหลอกก็วะ
Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
No amount of pestering will get the...
Well, there has
has been a murder, Your Majesty.
ไปดูคลิป
Maybe
ก่อน
that
แล้ว
has
กัน
the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
มาเตรียมตัวไว้ให้ดี
Don't you get saucy
Believe me,
with me
that's a lot.
when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce. Kid,
เห็นหมวกตรงนี้
been down by the room up the hall.
No.
อยู่มันไม่ถึงไหนเลยดีเลยนะ
มีอะไรนิดเดียว
Gods, didn't your mother teach you any manners?
She got eaten by a void woken.
Forget it.
ผมดูหลายคลิปเนี่ยตอนนี้ว่าจะลังจะดูเยอะๆ
It was one of them. I know
คน
it.
ขยันอัพโหลดมากเลย
Would you put a
knuckle in
it? I'm trying to concentrate.
I always knew you'd turn up.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
ก็ยังโหลดไม่มา
Your kind always
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
wolves around a campfire.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Now.
Can we just skip to the part
As
where
soon
I
as the
reassure
Inquisitor
you
gets
and you
here,
shut up?
we'll hand you right over the side of this ship with it.
You think the Magisters are out for blood? You saw the body, didn't you? Big bruiser like you ought to be
อัน
able
นี้
to
มัน
take them
ภาคแร
home.
กก็ทำได้หรือเปล่าวะคลาสสิกด้วยเหรอ
ใช่ใช่
เหมือนภาคแรกเราใส่อะไรกวนตีนกว่านี้ไงฟั
Your
กทองอะไร
kind
ไม่รู้
always hung close to the ground with
เดี๋ยวผม
wolves
จำได้
around a
ว่าท่านใส่อะไรสักอย่างที่มันเสื่อมๆแต่ผมจำไม่ได้ว่าคืออะไรแต่เสื่อมมากอ่ะจำได้แค่นี้ยิ่งกว่า
As
นี้
soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right over the side of this ship with it.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on. He raises an eyebrow.
Listen up, boy. You hear that? The ship, of course.
Right. I always knew you'd turn up from that nest. Your kind
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash, and
As soon as the Inquisitor
sick as a leper's cat.
right over the
From the state of it, I'd say she's being cared for by a bunch of beardless babes who never loved anyone but their own mum. But there's more. Listen close. There now, just like that.
Classify this slop as food.
Aha!
I've seen more.
his eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression.
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news. No, you beautiful idiot. That wasn't any rat. It was the wheel. Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise. Burn my beard. That means if we've been travelling for... Yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about
No indeed, boy. But that ain't my...
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard.
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
Please, Losa. That's enough.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water.
If you'll be pardoning me, I'll...
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen horse dinner, and I don't...
An elf sits tucked away in a...
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look. Rolling dice, deciding fates. Don't worry, honey.
She looks you up and down.
Never say never, though.
She eyes you quite serious.
I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last.
She gives your arm.
You were reminiscing about the things you used to do together.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right over.
Of course it is. The truth. But don't you worry, darling. I don't.
Kid, been down by the room up the hall.
manners.
She got eaten by a void woken.
Forget it.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
It was one of them. I know it. Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate. They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them. I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
Forgive me, kin. Were that I had more than gruel to serve. If I'd more than cornmeal and rotting roots, I'd concoct something more fitting. Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat behind this very wall. The indignity.
Come on, please, Lothar. That's enough.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
Come on, please, Lothar. Be good, you scallywags.
It was one of them. I know it. Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate. They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them. I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on. One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one. I just skipped to the part where I reassure you and you shut up. You think me mad? Mad? No. Insufferable, surely. What are you trying to hear anyway? I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom. Well, well, what have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up, shall we? See if you'll do.
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
There's some discoloration, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find prime merchandise on a squalid little ship like this. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook?
I'm trying to concentrate. They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them. I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on. One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one. Mad? Insufferable, surely.
Oh, goodness, no. And don't even mention the demon's testes that are turnips. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor?
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest.
Yes, I can tell from your vagabond chic, a bag is as good as a shirt kind of style. I shouldn't be getting my hopes up. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after. Just as I thought. That explains what's besieging my nostrils. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate, shall we? As per your own testimony, you have the taste buds of a dung beetle, the fashion sense of a monkey in a clown suit, and your personal hygiene reminds one of a carcass rotting in the sun. That won't do at all, see? I'm sad to say I must deny you the opportunity to be my slave. Ever so sorry.
Insufferable, surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if...
My slave, of course. Oh, but I see. Yes, I suppose it must take some time for the full extent of my disheartening refusal to sink in.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest.
Still, hone your skills, and one day you may just qualify for a position in a lesser household than mine. You keep dreaming, you hear?
Got this wolf on a leash now.
Soon as the Inquisitor gets here,
If you'll be pardoning me, I'll be...
shit with it.
Please, please, please.
They're everywhere now. The Magisters. In my hometown, you can't throw a shoe without hitting one. We're not safe from them. Not anywhere.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship.
Well, you aren't here on my list. Scram, eh? We're trying to catch a killer here.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? Insufferable, surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Keep those bolts trained on her. And if she tries to run, shoot to kill.
I'm busy watching for clues, sorcerer. Go take your sub-story somewhere else.
Things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
It was one of them. I know it.
You put a knuckle in it. I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just...
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp Ifan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He winks.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing. Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from... no. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. The Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs the show. Wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself. Not eager to bow before the great Bishop Alexander, son of the Divine himself. My sentiments exactly. But Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he hears you talking like that.
What are you conspiring about over there? You, Lizard, what's your name?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
Name?
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows the notebook back in his voluminous robes.
Away with you, at once.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against the wall.
How dare you classify this slop as food?
What? Didn't make it clear the first time. Scram.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than more appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
So, anything interesting for me? I'll take that as a no. So, anything interesting for... Right, tick-tock.
Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
The woman keeps rolling her dice.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, I'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
It was one of them. I know it. Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to...
Our customs mean less than nothing as long as these collars choke us, kid.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on. One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one. Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up? You think me mad? Mad? No. Insufferable? Surely. What are you trying to hear anyway? I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nez. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
This slop as food. I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with it.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magister's more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Didn't make it clear the first time. Scram.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them. I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up? Mad? Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Here to register, sir. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last passenger.
I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turn in some water.
You faring okay so far? Glad to hear it. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
Keep those bolts trained on her, and if she tries to run, shoot to kill.
You seem on edge, officer. What on earth is the matter?
Murder most foul, and I strongly suspect you know all about it.
Do you? Well, perhaps you're absolutely right.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts Source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
What's happened?
What happened? Must have been the turnips. Water? Wine, for goodness sake.
The lizard's eyes close as he slips into unconsciousness. You shake the lizard by the shoulder. The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled around him. You hear a faint thud, thud, thud. The young woman lies in a heap on the floor. She's breathing... The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a dire...
The hatch is blocked. I need to find another way.
Ifan lies motionless, curled, his eyes flicker open.
Lucian.
Look. Ifan cries out, then his...
long before... Damn, that doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards! What's in blazes? Something's pounding on the hull. God damn it! Need to get off this wreck and quick!
Was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You recognize the symbol immediately for what it is, a warning of death fog within. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply grey. The color drains from your hand, and you are left numb. It doesn't budge. The door groans open, but an ashen shadow clouds you.
I need to get out of here! Now!
chatty fellow, are you?
The Magister lies on the floor.
Wait! Void Woken!
ไงท่านตันแล้วเหรอ
I thought Void Woken was supposed to be scary.
ดูเหมือนตั้งนาน
I've faced worse.
ดูมาตั้งนานเพิ่งสังเกตว่ามันเป็นเรือตอนขึ้นไปดาดฟ้าเมื่อกี้
Let the
ตัวอะไร
games
ข้างนอก
begin.
ทักแค่ดูหรือว่าไม่กระจัวยังเล่นไปไม่อยากดูมากท่านก็เตรียมรีเซ็ตไว้แล้วกัน
They who are about to triumph salute.
อันนี้มันก็แยกกันใช่ไหมอันนี้มันของติงเกิลใช่ไหมอะไรนะอันนี้มันก็ของติงเกิลใช่ไหมใช่เป็นของติงเราต้องมาเริ่มต้นกันใหม่
These beardless bugs won't sink the ship on my watch.
อ๋อผมจำได้ละไอ้ที่เมื่อก่อนที่มันสกิลที่มันสุดยอดนะไอ้สกิลน้ำแข็งนี่ที่มันลื่นนะ
ใช่อ๋อใช่แข็งลื่น
ที่มันอะไรที่มอสจะเข้ามาตีเราที่จะตายมันลื่นน้ำแข็งไว้ก่อนเลยนะ
มีมาจัดหนักนะเล่นไปก่อนเลยแล้วกันจะดูแนวทางอะไรค่อนข้าง
No telling where there might be more. We need to move.
Away! The sea's hungry. We don't have much time.
อะไรว่าจะเล่นแป๊บเดียวเอาไว้มาเคลินไป
I hear something. It's...
We need to wait.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven. Those Voidwoken made short, bloody work of the ship. Am I the lone survivor? This must be Fort Joy. I thought the Order would get rid of any trace of the old Source King.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eyes, his chin, the crown of his head. He spots you, and his arms snap to his sides.
I'm not supposed to talk to lizards. Really? Like, what kind of stories? A 7-headed snake? That sounds scary. Can I hear it anyway?
You warmly tell the tale of Visha, but despite your best efforts, you notice that your knowledge of legends and monsters is somehow upsetting the child.
Are you a sorcerer? One of those guys that brings the bad void things here?
The child screws up his face and looks at you hard. He lifts his mirror up to his nose, closes one eye, and looks at himself again.
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong or crazy. No one cares where I go. They know I can't leave the island. It's nicer out here than inside anyway. But you didn't die. Guess I am, but it's just normal to be scared. Nowhere isn't scary. There isn't anywhere safer. That's what I mean. You'll see.
Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn, they've made it to shore.
You. I know you.
Bloody collars were supposed to keep those things at bay. Drowned and eaten by a Voidwoken. I wonder in which order.